She did just send it to me. Yeah.
But this one has signs that they have set up. I don't think the final choices.
That's one.
Yeah, we're all set.
Okay. Oh, meeting order, it's on 6:30. Please stand for the pledge. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, sorry, could you please stand for a moment of silence? You'll let you talk about.
One of our maintenance staff, Mr. Dan Dwyer, passed away recently, and I thought it'd be a nice gesture.
Thank you. Anyone for public forum? I need a motion for the acceptance of the agenda. Can I have a motion, please? Kevin, second. Heidi? Any questions? So I gotta, what is that now, the consensus? Yeah. So on the consensus on page. Last page, next to last page, sorry. Page B. On L. For the instructional proctors and scorers. Charlene Hunter, we have to strike her. And we are going to replace her with Corey Clava. Corey Clava. All in favor? Carrie?
Everybody's asking me for pens.
So we need a motion.
Well, if we just vote
Yeah,
on
we
the
did a
on the
motion.
A motion
acceptance,
for
yeah.
acceptance, and then we're going to the consensus agenda.
Thank you.
Oh, okay, the acceptance of the
We didn't vote
agenda.
on
There you go.
Yeah, we just voted on the agenda,
Okay,
it.
okay.
but it has the consensus agenda in it, correct?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Kevin and Mike. Okay.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Now I need a motion for the acceptance of the consensus agenda. Hi, or Alicia, second. Evan, any questions on that? Let's go through that. Terry Hoffman is retiring. She's been here a long time. Do you know how many years she's been here?
Oh, boy. Sandra, you got an idea?
I think it's about 25, 27.
25. I wish her well in her next journey in life there.
Well, we're hoping to have her come back.
Well, that's good.
Still gonna be practice. Maybe trauma is always attached.
She's a good person. We have here, we have a special ed teacher, Elizabeth Chinsky, I'm sorry. Kowinski, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Welcome.
Thank you.
And we also have a substitute, Christine Basilico. Hi, welcome. Thanks for coming to the meeting.
Of course. Thank you.
Any other questions that anyone has? All in favor? Thank you. We have presentations overview of Concord Central School District school-wide title funded programming and opportunities. Dr. Sandra Carter.
So when I bring a box of pens to board meetings because I want signatures. So this is our annual meeting that we always have about title funded getting the community's input, the board's input about how we spend those grant funds, and this is what we're doing tonight again. So I have forms for you to fill out afterwards.
Okay.
And I'll go through those after I do the presentation. So just some background, Toyo funds originate from the federal funds, but they're administered by state. So, we applied to the state and they tell us all kinds of things we need to do. We have to follow the ESSA guidelines, and they really are based on our economic need. As you know, we are a fairly needy population of school students, and that's the students that at this point we're over that 60%. One of the big things that we do in our office, we carry offering, is we try to keep track of that, but once we went to that program where, you know, free breakfast and lunch for everyone, we don't have as good of a handle where I can tell you what percentage we were increasing every year. At this point, we get information different. I can't tell you where we are above 60 specifically. So we I think last year was the year we went to a school-wide program. If you remember, I did the presentation that allowed us more flexibility in how we spend our funds, and we don't have to keep track of, you know, in order to do a program, you need this academic need as well as economic. So that's been a real positive for us. Some of the things we use our Toyo funding on are our math and reading intervention specialists, our literacy and math coaches, our social worker summer hours, our EML parent and student events, and Martine's here tonight. She is a big advocate of that and works really hard throughout the year, someone to keep those connections with our EML campus. Summer programming for elementary and high school, and children's programs. Those are some of the things we traditionally spend our funds with, and those are the things that the community is focused in like. So tonight's input, I'm looking really for you to tell me, and this is my note taker tonight. So if she asks us to slow down, that's why. What initiatives in the past seem to be the most beneficial, and so any thoughts on that?
Well, I know
That can be anybody in the audience.
Success Fest was definitely, it was growing until COVID hit. So I thought that was a good
So
thing
would
that we
you
had.
like us to include some things from that in this title grant, or would you be more interested in funding that more through local tax?
I would like to see it within the grant, because maybe we can offer some more things.
So it's interesting that I was at the superintendent conference at Questar today, and we did some fair amount of talking about ESSA and how things were relaxed because of COVID, and so they are going to be going back to some more of the hard and fast rules that kind of let some things slide for documentation. And so they are going to be tightening some of that up. So that was what was coming down today discussions. Not that it bears a lot of this, but just something you should know.
I think what Neil's referring to is sometimes this activity really didn't qualify. Something. We just have to continue to watch and monitor that.
Well, is there a way for us to, you know, separate them out so that, yeah.
Any other thoughts about what really seems beneficial? Wouldn't want us to do without.
I think we had the Sylvia Center here doing the cooking classes at night. Families. They seem to enjoy that.
as an engagement. Like,
Well, it looks like a 6-week class at night.
Yeah, that wasn't funded through Toyo, but, you know, just knowing the concept of family classes, that kind of thing.
And success festivals are one of the highly attended too, was anything where they were cooking or doing anything that was hands-on kind of thing.
You can say,
With it,
you know,
Sandra,
maybe we
with
could
it,
morph that into something like a hands-on math.
with it,
that kind of-
with the tutoring programs well attended, how did that shape out?
So the tutoring program struggled, in the sense of getting tutored, as well as, in the commit. But I will tell you that families that did, felt it was extremely beneficial. In one case, the family decided to hire a tutor for the summer because of the demands. So not a large impact in a lot of students, but the students that were able to do so, benefited.
Do you think the,
I think we're having
Reach.
a now student graduate because of it.
and do you think the reach, if it's something that you continue, would the reach of that program continue to grow?
I'm not sure in this job market, it's really tough. People are feeling maxed out. They're doing a lot right now, so I would be willing to try it, but I promise that it would succeed. But, you know, I'm not sure that size is as important as impact on it.
Well, I mean, you just indicated that there would be graduate.
That I would not have gotten to global. Right, Martin? You agree?
Yes, that must be helpful to our ENL students especially. Was the tutoring in person or over Zoom? or
It was in person.
Oh,
Yes, in person.
maybe that would make it easier for both.
We offered any way they wanted, but once they chose to do it, chose in person.
Remember you, are we, can we, I mean, are we allowed to, I know we're, lots of rules, are we allowed to use like students, like a senior maybe that's, I mean, can we use them as tutors?
Unfortunately, we looked into this really heavily because there was a lot of speaking voice about wanting to do that a few years ago, and unfortunately, we can't do.
So-
Who I'm sorry, who provides transportation for these programs? We do, we transport everybody back and forth. Are there any activities that would involve physical, like phys ed or exercise or health as far as that's concerned? Have you offered anything? I know summertime people are usually out, but
So traditionally under Toyo grant, we have concentrated on the academic
Academic.
areas of math and ELA. But as Bonnie was saying, in Success Fest, you know, there were physical activities there, so it's, you know, you can, but for the academic emphasis, it's really the deviations for ELA and intervention for ELA as well.
and not any technical or trade courses, programs.
Not under Toyo, typically
Okay.
that would.
So Sandra, I know we're gonna have Sandra to come talk a little bit about the summer program, but maybe since it's up here in one of our bullets, we could just give us.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and I know I'm new, so I apologize, but today, that 8-9 transition program. So all summer long, they've been working on a project-based learning component. They've learned about oceans and currents. They've learned about ship making and pirates, history and math and art. And today they built, well, they finally culminated in what they built were kites. They were giant pirate ships. And they flew them today. It was really exciting. The kids came out, the elementary kids came out. Like there was 30 people standing outside watching these kites fly.
Did we get pictures?
Yeah, we got pictures and video. It's great.
They'll be posted.
Yeah, so it was super fun though. The kids really enjoyed it. I think that was super engaging.
Yeah.
For the
And
kids
that
this summer.
certainly incorporates all your
Math
career
literacy.
type of
all
skills
that
as well as your STEM.
Was that fun?
You know, again, that the emphasis of that program was academic with math and.
But they made it fun,
and
Yeah, for
history,
sure.
But it was also developmentally appropriate for some of the.
So would it be safe to say we're going to continue then to fund our summer program? With the type of funds, which is a large expense. I'll make sure.
I think we could move down to the next question. So what do you see as barriers in our community that we haven't addressed yet, and that we must address? And you can also-
Transportation, I think, is certainly one, you know, even for Success Fest. Maybe they may not come because they can't get here for some reason or another.
Even community involvement. I think getting the community involved is very difficult to do. Seeing that as a parent, as a younger child, like there was so much more stuff and like, because I would run the booster club and just to try to even get parents to volunteer is practically impossible. And they'll say they'll show and they don't. And it's just, it's hard. You miss that community part. Is I think where a lot of barriers, just like you said, how do you get people to do things when it's hard to commit when you don't have the involvement? It's hard, but it's a community.
Feed
It's all.
Food.
Ice cream.
Volunteers needed.
Any other thoughts on that? Final question, any ideas you might have for total grant spending that we're not doing right now that you would like us to do?
Are we able to use like field trip type things, or like I would think of making it educational, like Fred was mentioning, like the historical aspect of, you know, taking kids to a historical monument that might be a little bit more expensive to go to, is that an option?
We can,
Okay.
so Fred was just explaining that program if they decided to go. Last year they did, a kind of like apocalypse type thing where they, you know, kind of blew up the world kind of deal, and all the done in that, so if, you know, they wanted to go to the sign. They still had Henry Hudson ship, they have moved here, that could have done something.
There's that,
Not going to find it that fast, so.
there's a battleship that might blend in this one. Yeah, the slave.
Can I mention something, Sandra? So for bilingual students, many times we don't have bilingual counselors, especially for our students who are immigrating here from another country. I would really love, and you know, obviously I translate all the time, but it would be nice to have a counselor that we could fund that is a native speaker and could also apply counseling techniques for mostly our Spanish speaking students. I would love to see that.
Great, and even if we couldn't find one person to use services,
Yeah, definitely.
Could you fund, since there is two things, since there is an increase in the number of the ENL kids, could you fund ESL classes for families? So parents who would come in for English
we
classes?
do that.
In the evening.
Martine and Alex teach a family class once a week. Last year it was on Wednesdays, right?
Mondays.
Monday.
And we had great attendance last year, better attendance than we've had since 50 years that I've been here.
And that is funded in this grant to those students.
And could you do an adult GED class for,
That one I don't know.
it could be both English and bilingual, so you could have two separate classes.
I don't know that you could. That would be great. Yeah, I think we'd have to have a family component into it, but we could even look into that.
Yeah, like without me knowing what the, because I, you know, I always have ideas, but it's always like they get shot down because, you know, well, it's not the vendor, so.
Sometimes I feel like working to,
Is there a way to engage our community? I mean, that is really our, you know, and I know I keep preaching this, you know, it's just that how do we engage our parents? How do we engage our community? And is there a way that we can use this title grant money to, and trust me, I have no clue what to do. I'm just saying, is there something out there that we can do to do that, to engage them? Get them to come here, get them interested in their kids' education, like, what is it that we need to do?
well, I'm hopeful with the funds that we can do some of
That's
those kind of activities out in the community and that might help.
I agree, I think that will.
In another district that
was really successful was a math and science night. So you would have games and puzzles that were all math and science related. And it was a huge community turnout because you had, like a petting zoo, or you had math puzzles or something that was like a stream night or. So you
And
had
we
things
tried that
like-
in child funding at one point, we did a math at Philmont Library. Brian Kroger and myself and somebody else. We did not get good attendance, but I'm hoping with a bus and, the PR around that and that kind of unique environment. that will help.
So I just had the spot in my head, it's like you invite them to do like a movie night, but then when you get them here, it's like, oh, it's like
Why
it is.
Well, I think you're right about that because.
Because they wanna come for fun.
A
or-
movie night isn't intimidating, right? It's
Right.
So then, you plan a really light activity that relates to the movie, that becomes like a activity.
Right.
Then they might consider a math or science. Yes.
Well, like, we got a community picnic, like at the school, hosted, like on campus, with, we've got.
Music?
Like, we
Oh,
hosted
music and a
a
band.
band in like September, have the students involved, as well as parents, and maybe something like that, just the baseline.
That would be a
Yeah.
good possibility.
Not so nice, just like a tennis court, the field,
Especially when
Yeah.
you start.
the football, and
Or the
Yeah.
Because a lot of times our parents, they, some of our parents don't actually value education. So how do we get them to do that? Again, it's like, I think if you get them so that they're comfortable coming here, not afraid, maybe they had a bad experience in school themselves, so they do not want to come to the school, maybe they're intimidated. So how do we make it so that they don't feel that way? And again, it's all about, food, fun,
Yeah.
then you slap it with the other stuff.
So one of the schools that I've been at, they hosted Science Saturday, and what they did was that they had like 10 different classrooms set up with high school kids or middle school kids, and they were running different experiments, and they were doing hands-on. The kids were making slime, the kids were seeing this, I mean, that might be a way, and parents could come with the kids, but that was a way to get some of the younger kids seeing what the high school kids were doing, so that might be an option.
The library is doing their annual picnic, the Rojan Library is doing their annual picnic in a couple of weeks. And they have this week, they really draw a good crowd as the Birds of Prey. Some of those kinds of things really,
Some of that's already built in, like, fourth grade. That's the curriculum already.
they do, yeah,
So nothing we can't do 2 or 3, 4, 5 times.
right. But in the summer, maybe parents can come as opposed to just doing it in school for the kids.
like a school-wide spring to learn.
I remember, I think maybe you organized it when we had that pregnancy and that.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And they bring like, other animals like turtles
And a magician.
and,
But that, like, if it was a school-wide event, maybe,
right,
and the parents liked it, because it was free,
yeah.
it's free, and there was food, but it was fun,
Food.
there was ice cream, there was raffle. I loved all that stuff.
All right, any other thoughts? So the next stage is to fill out my paperwork for me, please. This is a signature. And what you want to do is put your name and your role. If you have multiple roles, you can put multiple roles down. And then sign it. There's a bunch of boxes. If you want to fill in your own boxes, I have a coding sheet for that. But if you want me to fill in the boxes for you, so you don't have to figure out which boxes to fill in, I am glad to do that on your behalf. And then if you would put today's date and just write them. I have several sheets, so I'll just pass them around to you and grab some pens if there's some still left in my box. Through back here. That way.
Well, thank you.
Thank you. All right, if you have any questions, we're going to be working on this grant over the next few weeks. I encourage you, I'm putting you on the spot tonight, but if you have a great thought while you're trying to go to sleep tonight, feel free to email me or give me a call. That's it. Thank you very much.
I think Sandra just thought of something that for like spring into learning, if we did something similar to that as a school-wide thing, to form a committee. Really get a solid committee so that it's not just. Then you can have the people, these people reach out to the Zoom people or the. Sure.
So we'll grab a couple of you on the board. Thank you.
Thanks, Sandra. Okay, so we're gonna move on to our reports, the superintendent, Dr. Howard.
So, Lisa, stand up, meet our new high school principal.
Hi, Lisa.
Welcome.
So, most of you have met her by Zoom, coming by way of the great state of South Dakota and Rochester before that. So, wanted to make sure everybody recognized her. Some of the cabinet has been up at Questar for a little bit at the Compass Institute, working with the New York Kids Organization and talking about the potential goals, how to move forward on some initiatives. So we spent some time with that. Our group has also met with David Harrison, who's head of Columbia County Emergency Management, and we're talking about hopefully having an active shooter drill here before the holidays. And there's been a lot of changeover in the state police and in the sheriff's department. So we want to get people back thinking about these tragic events and hopefully plan for the worst scenarios and hope for the best. So, there has been a little bit of an uptick, and safety is the number one concern for everyone. We did also meet with Needham Associates this week, and they are consultants for us on health and safety. And we discussed threat assessments and then potentially how to go about moving forward when we evaluate people who may be on the brink of losing. So we are also talking with the superintendents about reunification. If there is an emergency where students and staff have to leave campus, and how we would reunite parents with kids in a planned, organized fashion. So we're looking at evaluating all of those plans. And today and tomorrow, I am attending the Superintendent's Summer Institute in Questar. And we are discussing many of the same problems that Connie Hills have, that all the other school districts are having at this time. Everything from compliance with state education department to hiring staff and shortages, and how to get people in front of kids for teaching purposes in September. And I'm also going to report that we have a district family who is sponsoring a Ukrainian family, and we will have our first Ukrainian student attending in September. Thank you.
Thank you. We're going on to the building departments. Is Mary here today? No, Mary? Okay. Lisa.
So I'm 2.5 weeks in, so tomorrow is the last day of summer school. We've got one more day of distance learning review for our students next Monday. Tuesday and Wednesday next week are the Regents exams for the students that take the August session of that. We've had quite a few teachers in working on curriculum, cleaning out their rooms, kind of trying to get organized for the school year. So I had a chance to meet quite a few of them as they've been popping in. And we're working on a master schedule, trying to assign your duties and so on and so forth. And then my first 2 days here, I spent working with the Restorative Practices Committee. And so I spent 2 full days or 2 half days, I guess, working with them to kind of put together a plan of action for both new teacher orientation as well as all staff orientation as some of the practices that we're gonna look at implementing for the staff. This upcoming school year.
Thank you, Lisa. Sandra?
So tonight I'd like to talk to you about the PDP plan that is on the agenda for approval. We've had it for, I think, a little over a month at this point. And just kind of highlight and make sure that you don't have any questions, or if you do, I can answer them hopefully. A couple of years ago, we revised the PDP plan to be more general than what it was. And this time around, the committee, which is made up of mostly teachers, but has representation from aides and PAs also, decided that they really did like that general context, and it really didn't change much within the PDP plan itself. However, when we looked at the mentoring plan, we felt that there was some significant needs for change. And that's kind of based on our hiring environment that we're in right now. So one of the major changes is to provide 2 years of support to teachers that are new to the profession. So teachers that are beginning on step 1 and haven't been tenured in another district will get 2 years of support. So 20 hours the first year, 20 years, the 10 hours the second year. The other major change to this was to add 2 head mentors. We use a cognitive coaching model, training mentors on that cognitive coaching model. That's worked fairly well, but what has not worked well is the times in between a new staff member coming on board and a mentor hasn't been assigned yet. And who do they go to? So a head mentor at each building would help facilitate some of the cognitive coaching. That's done well, but we could use more help with, as well as providing that new teacher or new TA some support in getting trained in work that they're doing. So those are new additions. And the other thing I would like to do is just mention that we continue to update PD providers. That's state law that we have to do that. So you may see this plan or a form of this plan periodically throughout 27 until we get to 27 and do another revision, because we do need to update and sometimes we add providers that aren't on this list. So this is pretty comprehensive. And many years I don't use many of them, but some years someone comes on new, so that has to be updated every so often. And the last thing I would like to do is thank the committee members. This committee is a totally volunteer committee. Sometimes they stay later than even 4 o'clock. When I need help with an issue, I'm very appreciative of the work they do, and it includes representation from community members too. So I just would like to thank everybody that participated. This is the thing. So if you have a chance to acknowledge what they do on PDP, I appreciate it. Any questions for me on that? All right. My second thing I'd like to talk about tonight is we have signed the ASCP contract. And if you remember, I sent you a memo in, I think it was June, asking you if we could proceed with this initiative. Bonnie has been to many of the meetings where we developed a proposal and had tons of stakeholder input into that proposal. I'm sure she has kept you updated as appropriate. Next week, they will be on campus with us to do a leadership training with the administrators. I'm still working through that. Bonnie, if your board has any input they want to give me, or if you want to talk to the presenter prior to them coming on campus, there's an open invitation for that, and I'm looking forward to beginning that. And we did get Thomas here in as a guest speaker on the 21st of July.
Yeah, that's good. Sorry. Okay, Sybil.
Well, I'm sitting here.
I was like, look out there, I'm like.
Hi, so Ashley has a baby. I got that. I got to meet her today.
Oh, she brought her in? Aw.
She messes up that much. But, so we're all working really hard in my office to go and learn. So she's a baby, but, this, summer is very busy for us. We did complete our audit. Just a few weeks ago and everything passed with flying colors, so. Finish things up and then we'll have our annual, financial condition workshop probably in November.
Henry.
So one of the focus that I've started new in this position is kind of on information and family information. So one of the things that I did, if you wanted to just take a look at the Pupil Personnel website, I've included a lot of information about what is special education, what is the 504 process, what are procedural safeguards, parent guide to special education. And one of the things that we just added today was what I'm referring to as PPS Academy. And what that is Zoom meetings every month, so they're monthly, and they're on topics that have to do with special education. The first one is about what is the special education process, and they'll be from September to June. They're 1 hour seminars for families, not just special education families, but for all families, but also for faculty and staff, just to have a general discussion and presentation on a certain aspect of special education, and then opening it up for questions and answers and discussion, so that more people have an understanding of exactly what Pupil Personnel Services does, but also an understanding of special education and Section 504.
So you have one scheduled for like every month that you're,
Yep, and
it'll
if
be
you
a
look-
different topic.
Yep, and for September is understanding the special education Section 504 process. October is planning ahead for academic success for IEP meetings. November is keeping special education records, but also assessments. December is continuum of services. January supports modification and accommodations. February is the science of reading. March is social emotional learning. April is being your own self-advocate. How can you as a parent and also as a student be a self-advocate if you are involved in the special education process? May is transitions after high school, and June is ways to stay active in the summer. So what can you do in those 2 months that you have off from school?
So you're making them
More.
webinars, right?
They are Zoom meetings and they're monthly and they're going to be for an hour.
I was
And
just
then-
wondering if you could, if there's a way to, like, say if somebody couldn't make
Yeah.
that Zoom, if there's a way to record them and
They
then have them on there that they can click on them and.
There's actually a section on the website, on the Pupil Personnel website, where they'll have the recorded session. So
Oh, good.
you're able to
I
access
think
them.
that's great.
So how do you get that information out to the community?
So it's posted here. It's also on Facebook and it's also on our district website. So- And then they'll also be sent home as well to our
Yeah,
special
that's-
education.
We just
That's
updated
great.
the website today with it.
So if you scroll all the way down, Neil, to where it says PPS Academy on the side, yeah, click on that. If you click on the orange, you click on that, it's the flyer. And that's all the information with the topics and the initial Zoom link. So if you want to click on that on September 20th, you can start the
Would
first
there
week.
be any benefit to getting that in any of the papers or any other publications out in the community, so that people know what's going on?
Yeah. We just got it today, so it will definitely go out in communication.
Yeah, so we have to talk about that because there are some limitations, but I'm sure
Right.
there's a way we can.
I just like if they can, you know, they can click on it and I like the time and watch it. I like that.
It's a work in progress.
Yeah, definitely.
A lot needed to be
I'm pretty
corrected.
sure we can put some more up here. on the back.
And if you look at the website itself, there's a lot, it's much more comprehensive than it was in the past. So there's a
Yeah.
lots of information about and
Oh, yeah, this is
they'll be
much better
updated.
than it was.
So you'll have on the side here, not just an introductory letter, but everything about preschool special education, McKinney Bento, Section 504. So there's a lot of information here. There's also a resources page with, there's a few resources now, but as the school year goes on, resources that people can get. That includes some stuff like, I don't know, transition services, things. If you have a student that struggles with vision, there's also a vision resource. So just a collection of stuff for people to access.
So what's the Kinney Vento real quick?
The Kinney Vento is for our kids who are homeless or in temporary housing.
So Kevin, to touch on that with the website information, what it is every department we have right now has drop downs on the home screen instead of, and what we're aiming to do is each department have their home screen. And just like Henry was showing you, everything is on the right-hand side and then it brings you to that. But currently the website was set up that every department had a drop down within the drop down on the main screen, but instead you want to have a home page for each department. But we have to talk to each department because not everyone, you have to just make sure everyone's okay with making the changes. So it will be, it's a work in progress.
You've done a great job so far, just so you know.
Thanks.
It's-
Yeah,
it's-
three of
it's
us
great.
are getting
But
there.
certainly if you guys have any questions, because special education in 504 is very complicated. So if
Right.
you have any
No, absolutely.
questions or anything that you feel that needs to be addressed on those monthly meetings, just let me know and we'll include that. And those are all a work in progress as well.
That's great.
Encouraging people who are not, families who do not have special education students to sort of understand what special education is. It's a place that sorry.
Thank you, Henry.
You're welcome.
Next up, Nick.
How are you? I figured I'd let you know what my folks have been up to, and it's been a long time since I've run
Pictures.
pictures. So I'd like to start off with a hole in the ground. That's what we have. So we've been doing a lot of parking lot work, and my folks have been very busy out there. So this is kind of what we've been running into in the parking lot lately. If you drive around out there, you'll see that there's lots of spots that seem to be collapsing in. And up towards the top of that hole in the ground, you see those paver bricks there. That's what they decided to use when they put it in to level the riser up. So as those started to deteriorate and drop away, everything dropped, and then you see the pavement sink. So what we did is we went out there, and if you want to scroll down a little bit, is we found all of these areas and we saw cut them out. It's hard to see that there, but that's some more sketchy work. At the top of that square where those pipes come through, those are just dry laid pavers. So that's what they use to encapsulate the pipe. So any water that would come up above the pipe would actually go out and it would undermine the dirt underneath the pavement. So, and that's a better picture of it right there. So you can see that some of them are missing there. So we have to take care of all that. Then if we go down a little bit further, so we saw cut everything out and we fixed all of those issues. And we brought everything back up to grade, compacting things, in small lifts so that it wouldn't drop down again as best we could. My folks even made a couple of risers special so that they would fit certain things. And then down here, we had the same situation in the playground. And this is one where it didn't actually drop down around the storm grate. The structure is under that grate, but it's where the water started to flow back and then undermine, and the pavement there dropped in. So we had that caution taped off and we had a plate over it for the last couple of weeks of school. And we just got out there and we're able to fix it. And there's Kenny holding the shovel, and you guys made him a permanent appointment tonight, so he's gonna be happy when I text him later. He's nervous. So, but yeah, we fixed that. So we brought that up and we did the paving. So the next one down, we brought in about 13 tons of asphalt to fix all of these. So we could have done a small driveway by the time we were done, and everything was done by hand. And these guys worked really hard. It was hot out there. They did a great job. Go down a little bit more of what they were doing. That's another one that was in the high school parking lot. And those were like craters out there before we cut those out and filled them back in. That was one project, and that's the one that was down by the softball field. That one was huge. That one backwashed a good 10 feet.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, that one was rough. That one was getting sketchy too. So we also did some parking lot light work so far this summer. And when we went to start the pool parking lot lights back up, we realized that we had a short in the ground and it was under the asphalt. So we had two choices. We could either run a new line or we could chase it. We chose to run a new line because we would have had to probably dig up a good portion of the blacktop out there to try to find that conduit, because none of the drawings actually showed us exactly how it ran. So they did a great job. We dug a new trench and then we saw cut a portion of the blacktop to bring the new line over to the pole, which I think is in the next picture. And we found out the hard way that on the other side of that seam, that was 6-inch heavy duty blacktop, and that was tough to cut and dig up, but we got it done. And then this is just the before and after of the parking lot. So we did an upgrade to all the LED lights. So the one on the left is a picture from back in June. And that's the high school parking lot looking down towards the elementary, and the one on the right's the same camera like last night or the night before. So that's what it looks like all lit up at night. So there was a significant difference in all that work. So, and that one we had to bring a lift in, and it took about a week and a half, and we did a great job of getting all those light heads changed out. It was all aerial work, and you know, they all know how to work safe and fast and efficient, and got it done.
You know, leather straps and harnesses.
Yes, we did.
So yes, Dave.
It's been very hot out there for summer, and I didn't hear one complaint about that the whole time. And I know we've had a lot of work outside, so yeah, I can't thank those guys enough for, you know, what they put in out there.
So I have a question.
Sure.
How long ago did we do, because I remember, I want to say, when did we do this parking lot?
So this parking lot was done, the high school and the elementary was done in the 2009 capital project, and that spanned from 2009 to 2011-12. The stuff that was in the student parking lot, you can't attribute that to that project because the student parking lot wasn't done. We only did the high school, middle school parking lots. That being said,
So you only fixed the student parking lot, is that what you, and then the softball?
well, we fixed everything
Okay.
because we were fixing the old stuff. But the problems that we were running into were with the storm structures and the way that they installed the risers on the new stuff. So that was done in that 2009 to
So that was
2012
in the
capital
2000.
project. Yeah,
So do we know the name of that company that did that? We won't use them anymore.
they're not in business anymore.
Oh, there we go. Totally makes sense to me now. All right. And you know, I just want to say thank you that, you know, you guys did this, and that's great because that would have been a big expense to.
If I had to estimate just that work right there on that one structure, I would say it would probably cost about $3,000.
Right. So thank you for. All right. Dr. Chuck?
Unlike Nick, I did not bring any pictures. But we've been hard at work all summer, running in-district and out-of-district bus routes. Been quite a busy summer with a lot of routes going out. We did get Rick to come in, and we managed to fill in the pit. So that is all set. You're gonna take a tour next month to see all of that. It looks really good. Summer school wraps up tomorrow, out of district wraps up next week, most of it, and then we start into sports. We're on track with bus routes and getting the information out to parents. I do expect that we should have letters going out early next week, mid next week. We are trying to get the routing program with some updates, so we're waiting on that to finalize the letter. But we are pretty much on track for September, the way that we have been in the past. I think everything else is going quite well.
Anybody got questions about it? Thank you. John. Hi, John.
Hi. Yeah, we're busy as well. Laptops will be handed out August 31st and September 1st from 4 to 6, I believe. There'll be stuff going out about that. As transportation was talking about with databases, every time something changes on the front side, like with school tools, it affects everything down through. So we're just figuring out where the bug is, or the comma that doesn't belong there, or the misspelled name or directions, and getting that straightened out so that all the databases will be flowing by school.
So John, I know I was having a problem getting onto the internet here, and I know you had talked about like in July 1st, everything resets.
That's correct.
Has anybody else had a problem getting to their email? I know Molly mentioned that she was, but that's why you're having a problem, is because everything switched over.
Yeah, July 1st, our Wi-Fi system is set up to wipe out all the information so that all new employees and all past employees will log in and get a new account in the Wi-Fi. That helps us get rid of the ones that retired and moved out.
So if anyone's having a problem, just give John a call. Thanks, John. Cafeteria, Pam. Hi, Pam.
Hi there. Tonight's tasting is mostly from the Howard's Garden, tomatoes and basil and some fresh mozzarella and some balsamic drizzle on there. And the chips are from,
What are the little purple things? Can you read
those are
that?
little, I don't know.
They're fairy tale.
I was like, they look
They're
very
cute,
cute. They look like
though.
little eggplants.
They are little eggplants, and the woman at the farm stand said a lot of people use them in a stir fry.
Oh.
So I just thought they added.
I was like,
some.
we had these up at eight.
I don't know.
I'm
It
gonna
was
try
good.
it.
Like everybody's been saying, summer school closes tomorrow. We've been feeding breakfast and lunch. The numbers have kind of dwindled the past week. Because I don't think, well, there's a few students that maybe didn't continue or finish what they had to do. So I've been doing that with Lisa Hodges, and it's been great to work with her. And it was really an easy, pleasant experience to do that. And just like Neil was saying, state aid is getting tighter on their less relaxed regulations since
Back to
COVID.
normal.
Yeah. So that's something I'm getting ready for. Just like that, that's. Yeah, we have.
Okay, we have some old business, so we have to fill 2 spots on 2 committees, the policy committee and audit committee, kind of a nomination for the policy committee.
I'd like to nominate Diane Bergheim.
I'll second that. And do you accept that? All in favor? Thank you. And now we need a nomination for the audit committee. Okay, and do I have a second? All right, Heidi. And do you accept? All in favor? Okay, we have new business. So we have A, which is the agreement with the county sheriffs for the resource deputy. Can I have a motion, please? Kevin, second. Joe? Any questions? All in favor? Okay. I think it's full time, correct? Full time.
So during the school year. So during the summer, she's not here.
And I need a motion for the approval of the college course and AP exam fee reimbursement program. Can I have a motion? Alicia, second. Kevin? Any questions? All in favor? Right, I need a motion for the approval of the professional development plan that Sandra was speaking about earlier. Can I have a motion, please? Heidi, second. Molly? Any questions on that? All in favor? So now I have approval, and I'm gonna combine D and E. I need a motion for the educational services of Children's Home of Kingston and, oh wait, no, I'm not gonna combine it, I'm sorry. So can I have a motion for that, please? Joe, second. Kevin, any questions on that?
Is that a new facility for us? No.
It is not.
All in favor? Thank you. So now I need a motion for to rescind the following service contract, top form for our athletic training services. Can I have a motion, please? Kevin, second. Joe, any questions? All in favor? All right, winter sports merger. Be it resolved, the superintendent of school recommends to the Board of Education to approve the application for cooperative sponsorship of boys and girls swimming and bowling in section 2 by and between the Hawthorne Valley School and the Chicano Hills Central School District, creating shared boys and girls varsity swim and varsity bowling teams, and authorizes the superintendent of schools to execute said applications. Motion, please. Kevin, second. Carrie. Any questions? All in favor? Okay, so we have any motion for the 19A coordinator agreement. The resolved, the superintendent of school recommends to the Board of Education to approve the 19A coordinator agreement between Chicano Hills Central School District and Richard B. Brock of Hudson, New York, from September 1st, 2022 to June 30th, 2023. Cost of the service shall not exceed $8,000. Motion, please. Joe, second. Kevin, any questions on that? All in favor? Design services proposal. I need a motion for be it resolved, the superintendent of schools recommends to the Board of Education to approve the fee proposal between Conic Hill Central School District and SEI Design Group for design and construction administration services associated with 2022 capital improvement project. The cost of the service shall be $40,000 plus reimbursables. Motion, please. Kevin, second. Gary, any questions? All in favor? Need a motion for the building condition survey proposal. Be it resolved that the superintendent of schools recommends to the Board of Education to approve the fee proposal between Taconic Hill Central School District and SEI Design Group for professional services to complete a building condition survey and 5-year plan. The cost of the service shall be $23,500 plus reimbursables. Motion, please. Kevin, second. Heidi, any questions? I just have a question. When does this start per se? Like January or?
I think once we engage their services, then they'll start to come in and go through the classrooms and do those things. So it pretty much would start right away.
Okay.
Yeah, SEI has all of our plans and things like that, so they can start there and then they do visual inspections.
Okay.
So these are just consulting.
SEI is, yes.
Okay. And can I ask more, do we ever go in the county, to see if there's other groups that do this, or these are, you gotta go to Albany to get folks like that?
A few years ago, we put out a request for proposals for architectural services, and we did look at some other firms. I don't recall if any of them were from directly in the county, but we did put it out there for other firms to come in and do a walkthrough and give us a proposal.
And how do you choose them? Is it by what they would charge or who you think is?
Qualifications,
Okay.
engineering, architecture, and some of it is a little bit of the price. Try to look at the whole picture.
Okay. All right, all in favor? Yeah. All right, we have the 2022-2023 tax levy resolution. Be it resolved, the Board of Education approved the tax levy for the 2022-2023 school year in the sum not to exceed $25,449,586. And these are the equalization rates, as you can see. Of course, I'm not reading all of those, so can I have a motion, please? Kevin, second. Terry, any questions on those?
Comment, just Copic is really the highest. Interesting.
Well, I see that the only counties or the only towns that are equal is Kent and Northeast. Right? They're the only ones that are at.
Yeah, Ghent just had a reevaluation and Northeast has been 100% for the past 2 years. Claverick revaled last year, but they're already down to 87%.
Saw that. I was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, but that's done, equalization rates come from the state and they, they're the ones that come up with the decision to say if the town is equally assessed at the rate that they should be for the market value. And that's the rate they gave us.
I can't believe it went down already.
Mhm.
It's only been, like you said, 2 years.
It was one, last year they were,
It was last year? I thought it
yeah.
was 2 years.
they reassess, they do the reval, it's called, and they send all the stuff to the people, but then the actual, it went in for last year's tax roll. Yeah.
We did our rebound, we did the rebound years ago.
Yeah, I mean, Copac's not that bad. It's actually 80% up there. If you look at the equalization rate, we have other towns that have lower equalization rates. Livingston's the worst.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
Wait till they get assessed.
But you have to also look at the rate per thousand, so. We just. So even though this is 65 over here, you're talking about $13 per 100,000. So there's a lot of different factors.
Right, so Hillsdale is half the population of Copic, by the way. Just about half the population.
Well, taxes don't go on population, it goes based on parcels. So it's parcels of
Right.
property. So it's a little different. And we have 100% of Hillsdale and 100% of Copique in our school district. So
Yeah.
that's what makes it up. Like Northeast, if you look right there, the amount of money they pay is
Right.
little because they do have just a little bit in our school district. So if you look at it, yes, Copique is bigger than Hillsdale, mostly but based on the assessed value of the homes that they have there. And that's what they come up with. So that's what that middle column, the assessed value is every home in our district within that town is what they say, if they're all worth. And then we take that amount and we spread it out equally, like 25 million, and everyone equally pays. And that's his
I'm just
formula.
wondering, just with COVID in the past couple of years of the market and
Mhm. It's affecting the whole county.
It is skyrocketed.
Mhm. Yep, that's why they're revaluing, because, you know, I think people in Ghent, their houses even doubled in their assessed value. So, right, if you live in Ghent, I mean, you're going to pay less per 1,000, but most likely your house is worth more. So really, it's not that much of a difference, but it's still there. That's why it's equally done.
Any more questions?
Mhm.
All in favor?
Sign.
You want me to sign this one?
I just want to make sure that we don't forget.
We will.
Yes, I have to send that tonight to the county so they can start printing our tax bills
We don't
tomorrow.
have Bill, so just so you know.
That's okay. Whoever's present just needs to
Okay.
sign it. They need the resolution.
Okay. Okay, so. where do I go now? Do all of that. Do I have to do the online tax bill payment merchant services? Was A the signature? Yeah, okay. So I need a motion for the online tax bill payment merchant service fees. Can I have a motion, please? Kevin, second. Joe, any questions on those? All in favor? So anybody from public forum? Okay. Additional items to discuss. So I got a couple of things. Friday, Tanya Fricky is heading up a group of people that are going to paint the bathrooms in the hallway. I think in this hallway, right? Is there another set too that we're doing?
Yeah, but I think we're focusing on these, right?
So she's asking for anyone that wants to join us Friday at 9 a.m. Come, I think Alicia's coming, I'm coming. We're gonna paint the bathrooms and then put stencils and make positive affirmations for the kids, just make it look nicer in the bathrooms. So if anyone wants to join us, let me know.
I just want to make note that Harrington's donated a gallon of paint. It's there for
They did.
Tanya Fricky.
I'm gonna go buy some paint myself tomorrow, so.
The gallon is sitting there with her name on it from Harrington's.
That's very nice.
You pick what colors and order like orange for your houses.
Yes.
Specific color.
Benjamin Moore created that.
Actually, I've been asking in Titan orange.
No, I cannot see it.
For the superintendent's conference, what we've done in the past, we haven't done it obviously because of COVID. But the board, we used to have money in the account when Christine was here. We used to work with Booster Club and earn money for the board. We don't have that anymore, but but we're still going to participate in that. If anyone wants to join us for the superintendent conference day, which is the 31st, we'll come here to serve the teachers coffees and Danish, fruits, whatever, just a little bit of like breakfast before they start their conference day.
At 8:31,
8:31,
at
and if anyone,
7 o'clock in the morning, is it 7 o'clock?
8 a.m.
it's 31st, but yeah, we have to be here a little early to help set up stuff, but yes. Kevin, all right, cool. Anyone else want to do it or want to get back?
Get that, yeah.
It's a Wednesday, right?
Wednesday.
It's a Wednesday.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
At 8 out in front of the plaque. Okay. Anybody else? All right, Kevin and Mom, is that right? Yeah, you get back to me, sure, all right. And the last thing is, I attended a law conference via Zoom and Terry did as well, and they had a lot of, we went over a lot of things, they talked about teacher shortages, which was, again, it's common from everyone, and just how you can, go about possibly having solutions as how to retain your people, or so they had some ideas for that. They talked about collective bargaining, some strategies for that. And then they talked about new laws and regulations. So I found it very interesting. It gave me some ideas and some thoughts to think about, I think, for those things. So I enjoyed myself. If you ever want to attend one, you should. And that's all I got for additional items to
And
discuss.
I think day one especially was just good general information.
Yeah.
About, certain, you know, the government issues and policy. I'm looking at the slide. I just think-
Well, the second day, they talked about the new laws and regulations, and then part of it was they talked about how lawsuits that are brought up against the school districts. Some of them are way out there, when I tell you, and it's pretty crazy that happens, but I guess. But yeah, it was very interesting. It was a lot of information, but I enjoyed it. All right, we need a motion to go into executive session to discuss the negotiations and employment history. Secretary? All in favor? All right. Thank you, everyone, for coming.